Welcome back, y'all. First off, I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in each week, keeping up with us. We have received a lot of feedback and appreciate it. We have a good one for y'all today. We are staying in the NFC this week, going to the North Division, and we have a big Detroit sports fan with us this week. I want to introduce my friend Jordan. Say what's up, man.
Going on, fellas. Appreciate y'all having me on here.
Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Sure, man. Thanks for joining us. We had a couple combos throughout the summer, and I couldn't wait to get your thoughts on a couple moves in the NBA and NFL. Before we get into some football, let's go ahead and touch on some NBA stuff real quick. Obviously, we all have seen the big rumors stirring up around Donovan Mitchell and Kevin Durant. Let's start with Mitchell. Do you guys see him staying in Utah or them going complete rebuild? Or how do you guys feel about that? Either one of y'all start us off.
Personally, I don't see him going anywhere. I think it sounds good to move off of Donovan. You just got rid of Rudy. You could start your rebuild, but
that's why I said like they already got rid of Rudy Gobert. They couldn't get it done with.
It sounds good to get rid of him, but when you're looking at it from the Jazz, you're gonna want value back. And with everything Rudy went for, Donovan's gonna have to go for something similar. And who's giving up that much for Donovan Mitchell? What team does he go to that makes them an instant contender to get them to give up that much without giving up too much that takes them out of contention? Personally, I don't think the Jazz want him. I don't think he wants to be there. But it's kind of like the KD situation. You're not going to get enough value back for him to get rid of him. So same with KD. I think they both end up staying. I think Donovan stays in Utah. I think KD stays in Brooklyn just because the value you're going to get in return for them isn't going to be their worth, and you can't part with it. Next season, completely different, but this year, I think they both start off with their respective teams they're on now, currently. So those are my takes.
Yeah, I'm not tripping, right? What's his name? Conley's still there, correct? And if I'm not mistaken, he signed before he left Memphis a 5-year max, which is crazy to me, 5-year max contract.
Right.
It's weird to me that why wouldn't you try to move him and free up?
Yeah, because he's definitely not the same player.
Yeah, I mean that's nowhere near the same guy, and that's a lot of money just locked up into someone who's not that guy anymore.
It's because Donovan wants out.
You see a lot more of that nowadays. You know, the players that ain't really worth the dollar getting paid the dollar. You know, because of everything.
Jalen Brunson. Oh, sorry,
Jordan Clarkson.
That's in my throat.
I mean, it happens so much every year, man. So I mean, I don't know. I think I agree with you, man, Donovan. I feel like he is gonna stay in Utah because I don't think they're gonna get what they want for him. Just like KD, I don't feel like he's gonna go anywhere despite requesting a trade less than a year after signing a 4-year max. So I mean, you never know what these players are gonna do. If I'm a team, you know, obviously Detroit Pistons fan, I wouldn't want KD on my team, dude. I know that might sound crazy, but
it doesn't. I'm a Memphis fan,
bro. I would not want to give up Cade. I would not want to give up, you know, Jaden Ivey or anybody else. Hell, I don't want to give up none of that shit, man.
That's the next thing I want to touch on. Like,
you know, like that's
you're gonna go, man.
Talk about. He is like what 34 years old. He's clearly one of the best players on the planet still, but
absolutely.
How long is he going to be one of the best players on the planet? I'm not giving up a 20-year-old who hasn't scratched the surface of how good he can be for
exactly.
And the potential wise is just
Like, so giving up your entire depth, like what they wanted to do with KD to Boston, like that's another thing. I don't know how y'all feel about KD, but why is it that the list of teams he'll go to is this big, and it's always Golden State smacked him, came back 3-1, knocked him out of the playoffs. He's like, oh, let me go there and win a couple rings. Then it goes, I'll only go to Phoenix and Miami, 1 seeds. Actually, I'll extend my list. I'll go to Boston, the team that just swept me, made it all the way to the finals. Like, does he have no confidence in himself? Does he not think he can carry a team to the playoffs and make a run? As your number one guy, would you want him to be your number one guy knowing he has no faith in himself?
If you can't beat him, join him.
I mean,
Kevin Durant. I mean,
that should be his slogan.
That's what it is, man. I mean, he's too good for that. I mean, that's why I feel like personally there's levels of greatness, and I don't try to shit on KD when I talk. I've never liked him as a player, as a person. I just never been a fan. He's insulted Detroit a couple times in the past. I hold grudges. I take that shit to the bank, whatever. But I just, like you get the commitment. You don't know, like, okay, he wants to stay here now, sign a max, and then 3 months later, and I know, the shit with Kyrie probably has a lot to do with that. I get it. You're frustrated.
Definitely.
The situation, blah blah blah. They're both at fault, whatever. But at the end of the day, he's too good for that, man. So the levels of greatness, man. So I couldn't even put him on like the same like pedestal as like a LeBron or a Kobe or you know what I mean. Even though he's just as talented, if not,
skill wise.
Yeah, he's bigger. He can do everything, bro. Like, but it's just too much.
I mean, he's probably the most skilled scorer we've ever seen. But
gifted at least.
Well, this week he's set to meet with the owner. So whether that may be to smooth things over or him just being like, I demanded a trade, like you're gonna get me up out of here.
Here's the thing. I want teams to like start taking control again.
And saying no. Say no.
Yeah, he has no player option.
Right, come on.
Make him sit out.
If you want to sit out, that's $40 million. We're
exactly, bro.
Plus.
I love that players have the power they do in the NBA, but they're starting to abuse it. This shit does not fly in the NFL, bro. Look what they did to Le'Veon Bell's whole career. You take 1 year off playing a professional. You're an athlete. I get it. These guys are the best in the world. But you take a year off playing at that level and just look what it does to careers.
Hard to come back from that.
It is, bro. And that's why we all saw Deshaun Watson, right? The 6-game suspension. But you got to realize he took all of last year off. So now that the suspension's finally out there, he was allowed to play preseason games and start practicing with the team again. But he hasn't played any game at any level, let alone the highest level you can play, in over a year. So
slight difference is he's not a 34-year-old guy.
Right, I think he's 26 though. He's still young.
Yeah.
And off a major injury.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that when you take that kind of time off, it leaves questions. Same questions with Ben Simmons. We ain't seen him touch a basketball in a season.
Man.
Like, look how quick we forgot about how Johnny hasn't forgot, but most fans have forgot how dominant of a player he was and how he should have been the DPOY 2 years ago. You take 1 year off, and all of a sudden, you go from being a max contract player to being who the hell, like...
I mean, look at Kawhi Leonard. I feel like a lot of people forgot about him this year. You're injured for 1 year, and it's like you fall off. And you got to come back and prove yourself again. Like,
yeah.
All right, but staying in the NBA, obviously you said you're a Pistons fan. How do you feel about the offseason so far? I mean, you were literally talking draft night, and I said it would be massive if you guys got Ivy, and you didn't even think there was a chance. You didn't think he was going to slip that far to you. So how do you feel about the offseason so far?
Bro, I'm loving it. Honestly, I didn't think there was no way we could get him, man. I did not think especially, like y'all know, right before draft picks up, there's always that hype that they start hyping them players up. So, that they're just, they gotta go within the
promo
or whatever. Yeah. But when the Kings took Keegan Murray, dude, I went crazy. I stood up.
You were cheesing, yeah.
The time. If they don't draft this man, I'm going to have to buy a new phone. Like, I am, they're about to make the pick, dude. I'm standing up. Like, I can't sit down, bro. Yeah. Like, I'm that into it, But I feel really good. Ivy, man, I watched him a lot in Purdue because, I watch a lot of Big Ten basketball, being a Michigan fan. Ivy's a great finisher. He's improving his shot. He's got home ties.
Super electrifying.
Yeah, I think, his mom coached there. His grandfather played for the Lions, I believe. Don't totally quote me on that, but he does have Detroit ties.
He's got Detroit ties.
For sure.
He does make me nervous, though.
Yeah.
His play style?
He's reckless sometimes, dude. I see a lot of kind of John Morant-esque kind of type play shit where he just drives to the rim and it's reckless, going 100 miles per hour. And it's like, dude, it's a summer league.
Kind of like Derrick Rose, too.
Yes, bro. And so, I mean, and another thing I wonder is can he play with Cade? I hope he can. I think they should play together.
Their play styles are going to mesh.
They should, but then again, Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bey could not play together, at their position. And they're both pretty solid players, man. So, it's just different when you get, I did too, and when he originally traded Grant for essentially nothing, I was pissed. I did not know where he was going. Troy Weaver was our GM. He was hired July 2020. And ever since he has been hired, he has been making moves, dude. And every move he has made, dude, it's restructuring the roster everywhere, man. He's cutting off all these bad contracts, getting rid of all this, dumb pay, and we got a whole bunch of young players that ain't really making a whole lot of dollar yet. You know what I mean? The highest.
So you guys are headed in the right direction.
Yeah,
for sure.
The highest paid player on our team right now is Kelly Olynyk, making like $12.5 million this season. You know what I mean? Like,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, man.
Well,
so, I mean, they got options.
Do you think you guys are gonna end up signing Miles Bridges? Because I know that was definitely in big talks.
Do you want Miles Bridges? That's a real question. He fits your timeline.
Yes.
That's why he doesn't. It's not like he blows your timeline up.
That's another player who has home ties. He went to Michigan State, so I mean, he does have home ties to there. He's a good player. I don't know what's going to come of this domestic situation he's got going on that I kind of wouldn't want. I would probably want him more if that shit wasn't going on. You know what I mean?
He'd probably stay in Charlotte if that shit wasn't going on.
Yeah, it's just a distraction, man. And I haven't heard nothing about Miles Bridges since this whole legal shit going on with him. So I mean,
to be honest, I haven't either.
I would like him on our team, but I wouldn't like him on the team for the price that we would have to pay to get him. I'll put it like that. You know what I mean? So
okay,
but I like what they did, man. And Jalen Duran, the dude that they got, the second pick in the first round, that dude's a hustler.
Baller.
He's a hustler.
He can hoop for sure.
Tenacity, the rim protector, inside scoring. I mean, he's legit, man. I mean, he really looks legit. Troy Weaver knows what he's doing, man. I mean, and I really hope he can turn it around because we've made the playoffs twice in the last 13 years, and it's ridiculous.
So, question for you.
Our last playoff win was in 2007, 2008, bro. The last two times we made the playoffs.
Wallace, Chauncey Billups.
The last two times
was that team?
Yeah, the last two times we made the playoffs in the last 13 years, we was swept both times. We haven't won a playoff game since 2007, 2008. This shit's ridiculous, dude. That's not Detroit basketball. It's not what it's supposed to be about, and it's not appealing at all. And we're tired of this shit.
There needs to be a turning point.
Question for you and John, because you guys watch more college. Trent, you might watch more college basketball. Didn't Ivy play more off ball though at Purdue? Didn't he play off ball more?
I mean, he's like the 2 or the 3. I mean,
that's what I mean. He didn't have the ball in his hand. I think him and Cade go well because Cade's good with the ball in his hand. Ivy's good he can cut, play off ball, catch and shoots, getting better. Like I think that's a perfect fit in Detroit, and I was happy they got him. But I think they play together just fine. I don't think that'll be the issue.
Them drafting fucking guards and like top 5 the past like 3 years, that was just something I was curious about. But like they didn't get to try to grab a big. But
oh man, let's not get me started with their past draft picks.
I mean, Killian Hayes. Yeah, I mean,
oh my lord. And to Killian's credit, he's looking a lot better. He's sharpened his game up a lot when it comes to anything except for shooting the basketball. I see videos all the time of him shooting threes, draining threes in practice. Oh, he's working
not in game.
You see him in a game? This dude, like, what are you doing? You can defend. He can dish it out really well. He hustles. He'll steal the ball. He's got potential to be on a roster. I give him that. He's getting better each year, but he's not a scorer, dude. And we picked him 5th overall or 7th or some shit. I don't know.
You guys got him early.
I like it, but you deal the hand you're dealt, I guess. So we'll see what he can do. I mean, I'm not giving up on him just yet. So
you might be one of the only people that hasn't given up on him. Just gonna throw that out. I'm gonna throw that out there.
I'm a Detroit sports fan, bro. I can't ever give up. If I'm gonna give up, I might as well just stop watching.
You don't gotta give up on your team, but you can give up on a lost cause when you see the players is struggling. But segueing into the football, touched on it for a brief second. The Deshaun Watson, Judge Sue Robinson, former Judge Sue Robinson, came out, gave her disciplinary action, suspended him 6 games with no fine. The NFLPA came out and said they're not appealing it. They're going to rule with whatever the judge said. No matter what happens, that's the rule. More games, less games, they didn't care. Her rule is what was going. Roger Goodell had a different mind, appealed it. He had till tomorrow. He appealed it today. Which now I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe this put the power back in his hands, meaning he can
So the final decision is up to him.
I believe so. I believe so. That's what I've heard. Now I'll know more information tomorrow when I actually hear professionals talk about this, but leading up to it, I know I was listening to Nick Wright when he was talking with Colin, and he said that they brought in the judge 2 years ago. 2020 is when they brought all this up with Ezekiel Elliott issues when he got suspended 6 games. It became Goodell has too much
Forgot about
power.
that.
Goodell has too much power. He didn't need to do that. So they took the power away a little bit, gave it to somebody unbiased and not related. And now it's coming out that at the end of the day, if he appeals this, it'll be back to him. I saw that they're looking for at least a year suspension. At least 1 year, but indefinite could be a thing with a major fine. Another thing about his contract was he's only getting paid $700,000 salary this year. That way, if he was suspended, he didn't lose as much money. His whole contract's backloaded, getting paid $700,000 his first year because they were anticipating a full year suspension. That way, he only lost $700K instead of losing $30 million.
So, question: is that 6 games out of the window, like out of question now?
No,
like he's definitely gonna.
He could. It'll be the Goodell could take it and knock it down to 0 games, or he could leave it at 6 games, give him a fine. He could bump it to 4 games, 8 games.
That's what my question was. It's like, is he gonna like penalize him more? Did he feel like it was?
It'll be more.
That's what I figured.
Because
I was gonna say like
if they appeal, I mean they don't want this guy to play. So if he's appealing it, they're about to find
I've seen a lot of people coming out talking about it. I even seen Big Ben come out and say something about like.
And he is the worst one to say.
He needs to be quiet. Like there's certain topics you should not talk about, my guy, and that's one of them.
Like, come on. If hypocrite is a word that you're familiar with, Jesus Christ, brother.
Yeah. But
look it up, Bucko.
Just wanted to kind of get you guys' thoughts on it. You don't got to deep dive into too much.
I feel like it's not really fair. Like if they brought that rule back from 2010 where they brought the judge in, go off that ruling. It's a judge. Like I just don't see what's the point of like being able to change it once someone makes a ruling. That's just not
so that's
okay
why
with me.
The NFLPA came out. The players they came out and said no matter what it is, it could be a 5 whatever. Former Judge Sue Robinson said is what we're going.
They're not going to appeal,
no matter what it is.
I feel like that's fair.
This is the first time we've done that since we brought her in, right? Since we came up with the NFL came up with the idea of using an unbiased judge unrelated to the NFL. What would it mean? Like this is the first time we've used it. So the fact that the first time we're actually going away and not giving Goodell power, he appeals it and takes the power back anyway. It's like what was the point of it?
My thing is that this is probably the biggest case in the US, right?
Ever.
Like not just in football, but just going on in the US right now. So obviously they're going to have the best investigators on this case, right? So if they can't find anything, like,
well, I don't know if you saw they were talking about the towel trick. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Like he would like wear like a small towel, like so he was basically like exposed.
A Gatorade towel.
Yeah, yeah, like a tiny.
But
tiny
it's
towel.
the reason. So my initial reaction, I was upset. For me, there was 2 choices here. He's either innocent and you don't suspend him, or he was guilty and you suspend him for a full season at minimum. I don't understand how you get 6 games. You found him guilty enough to suspend him, but 25 alleged sexual assault or sexual misconduct isn't enough to get suspended for a full year. To me,
that's the thing. Alleged. They have the best investigators on this.
Yeah, but
obviously they didn't find enough.
There's no evidence. It's all going to be hearsay, Johnny. You don't have video cameras in the training room. That's just you don't do that. People are naked. You can't do that legally. So there's not going to be any actual evidence. Like when I'm not going to sit here and call the man guilty because I don't know anything. But when 25 plus women come in from 3 different counties over a year and a half,
and you don't think you don't right. I mean, you're probably right. But if you don't think they just investigated the fuck out of this or interviewed all these women,
but like I said,
something. Obviously, they didn't get enough.
It's innocent until proven guilty. But when it's that much, like I said, I'm going to use my own judgment. And Sue Robinson used the same judgment that I'm using because she said that he's guilty of violating 3 policies and violating 3 different conduct policies of the NFL's bylaws. But it was so much we've never seen in like this many cases. Like it was just egregious to the point to where in the bylaws of the NFL, the most she could do that's precedent is 6 games. The most anybody's ever been suspended for anything like this. But this is the most we've ever seen. Most times it's a one-off. Ben, one-off. Zeke, one-off. Like it's one case, not 25 different. So she went with what she had precedent, which was 6 games. To me, I don't care. You either found him guilty or you found him innocent. I would have rather a 0-game suspension. And you said, just like the FBI did when they did the grand jury, we found no evidence he's clear of criminal charges. We found no evidence he's clear he can play, or we found evidence full season. I don't like the 6 games. To me, it was none or the whole season. And the middle shit,
So
you're telling me he did it, but not enough. I don't get it.
Question for y'all. So if he's just out for the 6 weeks duration, if you look at the teams they're going to play, it's Carolina, the Jets, Steelers, Falcons, Chargers, and Patriots.
They got the Ravens as soon as he comes back.
Yeah,
Well,
they're
that's his eligible first
Jacoby,
game back.
Jacoby can, if it's 6 games, Jacoby can get them 3-3, and then he starts out 3-3.
I don't want to start against the Ravens. My first game back after not even playing last year too.
I don't want to see Deshaun Watson either.
No, but if that's what you're asking, he'll come into the NFL. If it's a 6 game, he'll come in 3-3 playing the Ravens. They'll be 3-4, and he'll get his feet wet, and the Ravens will tear him apart. But that's that. How do you feel about the whole situation, Jordan?
I think they'll be 1-5 without him. Personally,
I don't see it.
They got a good roster over there in Cleveland.
Yeah.
They're Cleveland, bro. I'm sorry. If it's anything comparable to what Detroit is,
they're better than Detroit.
They're the mistake by the lake for a reason, bro. Not us. I don't know, man. Like, in all seriousness, I feel you when you say like either suspend him for a year or don't suspend him at all. 24, 25 women cases, whatever. Like I said, something going on that ain't supposed to be happening, whatever.
Sure.
But then I noted like a lot of these previous suspensions that y'all was talking about. Y'all touched Calvin Ridley 1 year for the gambling. Kareem Hunt got suspended 8 games in 2009. Y'all remember that video? Him knocking that chick out?
that was the video too. That was crazy.
Yeah, he got 8 games for that. Jameis Winston got suspended for 3 games in 2018 for an incident that happened in 2016 where he suspected, for inappropriately touching an Uber driver. 3 games for that, and multiple players, dude. I found at least 6 different players that got 4 games for domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just doesn't line up when you have 20 plus cases, allegations, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, man. I just don't think 6 games can suffice to that. Like,
it doesn't add up.
Unfortunately, when you're a player and you're a stellar player in the NFL,
the face of a franchise,
you're held to a different standard. You know what I'm saying? Whether he did it or not, I don't think really is the point. The point is you're a part of a brand and it makes them look bad when this shit happens. So I believe that you got to do something about that, you know, and you got to
make a statement.
Example, yeah, man, to make sure that this does not happen again.
So I agree with that, but the doing it and not doing it does play a big part. What was that guy that all the hype was around him? Yeah, he lost his whole career.
Yeah,
because of an allegation. Sean Owen from Oregon, the cut up Diesel DN,
Baylor. I saw he got he was proven guilty though.
No, he wasn't.
No, he was proven innocent. He was innocent of everything. And he lost his entire, well, I don't know about career.
No, he never played in the NFL.
Yeah, he plays in the CFL now.
Yeah, he lost his entire career over that. Like, that stuff
projected first round pick.
That stuff does happen. But when it's, I'm not going to seriously say 25 winners and you're conspiring against Sean Watson. That's different.
No, see, I don't. But even if it's only 3 and the other 22 are just conspiring, whatever.
Yeah.
It's still
right, exactly. But the reason I didn't bring up the Calvin Ridley thing is because that's actually in the fucking bylaws of the NFL. Like, they make it very much to where they don't want to lose the integrity of the game.
Yeah.
And betting, like, that's do not bet on any game.
And I agree. And I agree that he should have been suspended, but for a year, bro, that's messed up.
It's in the rules. Pete Rose is literally not in the Baseball Hall of Fame because he bet on games.
Right.
Like, man,
but he was cheating. Wasn't he cheating though?
And as a player, you should not be able to bet on them games because you have inside information that nobody else has access to. You know who's going to carry the workload, whether you're playing or not.
Does anybody know what the bet was?
You don't know what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I agree with the suspension, but for a year.
I know it was $1,500, but I heard somebody bet $1,500 on Cordell Patterson.
And it was on his
I thought he said
own teams. Own team
Oh,
games.
I thought it said he wasn't betting on his own team.
Nah, he wasn't playing on the team when he made the bet.
It's
Like,
it was either when he had COVID or he was out
he
hurt.
couldn't affect the outcome of the game. But
That man,
see,
that
I
man
didn't know
gambled.
that.
That man gambled thousands, and it cost him millions.
bro, he thousands. It was $1,500. Wasn't even thousands.
Oh my
Bro,
that's
God.
to him. That is
the
$1.50.
the username was I am Calvin Ridley. Like, bro,
Yeah,
you couldn't have came up with
he
something
said-
different.
He said, "I do not want to play in Atlanta." That's what he said.
Yeah.
Keeping on
Well,
with the NFL
you couldn't
news.
hit up somebody else. Like,
What's crazy is if they had him, they'd have a really good offense.
Yeah,
sure.
Nah, they wouldn't have a
Yeah.
really good offense. They'd
They
have good
would.
weapons. Mariota's
Yeah,
not good enough
they'd be
quarterback
alright.
to have a good offense.
put Ritter in.
Maybe in a couple of weeks, we'll see. Let's get into this Kyler Murray contract. I want to hear your guys' takes on it. So 5 years, $230,500,000 makes him the second highest paid quarterback behind Aaron Rodgers. Johnny, I'm gonna go with you because your quarterback's still waiting on a contract, and people love to compare him.
I don't know why the
Me
guy.
neither.
Yeah,
But
one's undersized and has a losing record, and the other one has one of the best records throughout 50 games in NFL history.
And can't call him undersized. He just put on 25 pounds.
Correct, but honestly, I think it's he knows what he's doing. All these guys are getting paydays, and he's just sitting back, just
waiting.
Lamar's going to get fucking paid, and it's not going to make sense.
Back up the Brinks truck.
Yeah. It just doesn't make sense to me. He's not playing like a fucking top 5 quarterback in the league. You shouldn't be paying him like a top 2. So.
He's not top 10.
Yeah.
He's floating like around that, in my opinion.
I mean, he's one of the best athletes in the league, but he's not one of the best quarterbacks.
So how do you guys feel about it? Trent, Jordan? Touch on this for me.
Go ahead, bro.
Well, like you said, I don't think he's definitely not top 5. Being like he's not worth being paid that. And you said he's second.
Yeah, second.
Josh Allen just got paid, and he's making more than him. And if you look at the output, he's not doing what Josh Allen is doing. But to me, it's just I feel like they might have done that just to secure him and lock him in. Because honestly, other than him, it's like who would they have brought in? I know you said. Go ahead.
Who can you bring in if you pay him less? Pay him what he deserves to be paid, and then what other weapons could you add to that team?
True, but I'm saying is I agree to that, but I'm saying as far as like the quarterback position itself, like if they would have let him go, who are they bringing in? But I know Donovan brought up Jimmy G, which I think that could work. Right, true. So I was just trying to look at angles at why they did it because I didn't understand it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. How do you feel, Jordan?
Kaepernick.
You want to talk about players being unwrongly not playing? Deshaun gets 6 games. Kaepernick can't play at all anymore, and he's took.
Come on, bro. We know that. We don't even need to touch on that.
Right. I understand why they locked Kyler in, man. I do. He's young. Was he 3 years in now? He got drafted in 19?
Yeah, he just finished his 3rd season.
Right. And he's made the Pro Bowl in the last 2. I mean, he's shown signs of being a good quarterback. He's not the greatest by any standpoint. We know this. He's not top 5. He might come into the 10th.
He might be 10th, maybe 10th.
Yeah,
I have to sit down and do a list.
Maybe, right. That could be debatable. That's fine. They just wanted to lock him in, like you said. You know, they don't want to deal with none of the extra shit, the headache trying to find a new franchise, the face of the franchise quarterback per se. And it really wasn't about the contract amount. Really wasn't about him being the best. It was like we touched bases on this before. He was just the next man up. You know what I mean? And the cap keeps going up. They're going to keep getting paid more and more. I mean, so whoever's due for the next contract is going to get the most, guaranteed or most total dollars or however it works.
That's why I feel like Lamar fucking paid. Yeah.
So yeah, and like you said, Johnny, Lamar is going to get fucking paid he's going to have the highest contract ever when it comes to his time. He should, or else he ain't going to resign. I wouldn't.
What is that? Is that this summer?
I'm not sure.
I mean, not this summer, but
Lamar was a 1st-round draft pick, so he's going into his 5th-year option this year.
Right, and that's crazy to me that he hasn't been paid yet.
Yeah.
Like, to be honest, but
you need money to pay.
Yeah, and
got to come from somewhere.
And I think Kyler will do all right. He's young. Even though he looked horrible in the playoff game last, man.
I think the Cardinals playoff. What am I trying to say? Their time is now, because now that he's getting this kind of money, look what Kyler Murray was before D-Hop. Look at the record look at the record when D-Hop's out of games. When he doesn't have that number one guy, they don't perform. And guess what? We've seen it. Patrick Mahomes got paid. Tyreek Hill bounced out because they couldn't afford him. You know what I mean? Like, it's a trend. Once you Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers, highest paid player. Devontae Adams, you can't afford me. Gone. Like, once you pay a quarterback that much money, you can't afford to put pieces around him anymore. And Kyler proved it that he couldn't do it without those pieces.
And that's a red flag, man.
Yeah, my biggest thing with Kyler is he's never thrown 4,000 yards, ever. His 3 seasons, never thrown 4,000 yards. He hasn't thrown 30 touchdowns, and he's thrown over 10 picks in every season. He does have 1,786 rushing yards in his career, so that's cool. He's averaged almost 600 in his first 3 seasons. So I'm going to throw a couple stats out here. I got a guy who's thrown for 4,000 yards 6 times, 30 touchdowns. Oh, Kyler's record as a starter, 22, 23, and 1, right? So this guy has thrown 4,000 yards 6 times, 30 touchdowns 3 times, less than 10 picks twice. His record is 61, 62, and 2.
Derek Carr.
Kirk Cousins.
Yep, exactly. This guy's thrown 4,000 yards 4 times, 3,900 twice. So just missed 4,000 twice. 30 touchdowns once, less than 10 picks 3 times. He's 57 and 70 as a starter. Derek Carr.
Okay.
Never thrown 4,000 yards. Thrown 30 touchdowns once. He's only ever thrown more than 10 interceptions once in a season. 4-year starter. He's 37 and 12 as a starter.
Lamar. Yeah,
3,700 rushing yards. Yeah, Lamar. Now, we touched on Josh Allen. This is the last one I'm going to bring up. Oh, do I have Josh Allen? Yep. 4,000 yards twice, 30 touchdowns twice, less than 10 picks once, 39 and 22 as a starter, and he has 2,325 rushing yards in 4 years.
And no running back.
And now look what and went and duked it out with Patrick Mahomes if not for a coin flip in the AFC Championship. Proven he can do it in the playoffs. And he just got a bag bigger than him.
I just saw a stat. Baltimore over the last 5 years has I think it's they're the number 1 rushing team, but they have like almost 2,000 more yards than the second place team. And I mean, obviously Lamar's a big part of that. Like the biggest part of that. My
biggest thing with Kyler's contract is great quarterback. You want to keep in a top 10 talent, and he's arguably that. I'm not mad you bring him in. I'm mad at the money you give him for the same reason I'm mad you pay Christian Kirk. Yes, you got to give Trevor Lawrence help, but you just blew up the whole market for a guy not worth it.
Yep.
Kyler's better than a number 3 option becoming a number 1. He's proven he can play in the NFL, Pro Bowler twice. Cool. But when you compare him to guys like Mahomes, 4,000 yards in every season, he's thrown 5,000 once, 30 touchdowns 3 times, 50 touchdowns once, less than 10 picks twice. He's 50 and 13 as a starter, and even he's ran for 1,200 yards. But Kyler's making more money than him.
And the fact that they put that stipulation in his contract, man, to study game film and shit, like that's red flag by itself. I mean, that's baffling to me.
Yeah, the independent study clause or the addendum. They took it out because all the backlash they got for it. But the fact that they had to put that in there to say, hey, look, dude, we'll pay you this money, but you have to watch your own game film. Like, why isn't he doing that anyway?
No TV, no, like, what the fuck is he, a high schooler?
Kyler came out and said he loves video games. I watched a TikTok, and it said Kyler Murray's record before the new Call of Duty drops. Kyler Murray's record after.
I mean, did you not see he's in the phase? Yeah, he's in the phase.
He's in the phase.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. And his record, I mean, just look at his record at the beginning of the season every year, and then look at what happens when Call of Duty drops in November. Look at the record after November, man. Bro. He stops watching the game.
That's true, too.
He picks up the controller. Come on now. But I saw the TikTok. He put up his record and everything, like his record before and after the call. I was geeking, bro.
They're petty, bro.
7-0
yeah. But keeping on contracts.
Resurgence came out.
Debo and DK just got paid. Debo's contract's 3 years, $71,550,000. DK's was 3 years, $72 million flat. So DK ended up getting an extra $450,000. Now, Debo's contract does say if he rushes for more than 3 touchdowns in any season, it's a $150,000 bonus.
He getting that.
Yeah. So, but with that, to me, is saying that Debo doesn't mind running. Because if he did, I would want more money. Like, if I'm running 3 touchdowns, pay me more money. And what's 150K? Like, that's literally nothing. That's chump change to guys making 70 million. So
Right.
he came out in the offseason and said he didn't want to be treated as a running back. But then it's a stipulation in his contract that if he does run for touchdowns, it's only a bonus of 150. If I don't want to be treated as a running back, every touchdown I run for is $1 million. And if I run for 3,
you're going to be compensated for it.
He only said that because he wanted the wide receiver money.
That's what I was going to get at.
Running backs
he wanted more than wide receiver money. He wanted to be the highest paid receiver because he's a wide receiver and a running back. That's why he said it.
He's a wide back.
He wanted to be a wide receiver because he wants the wide receiver money. He doesn't want to get paid like a fucking running back.
Right, but he said he wanted to be a top paid wide receiver because no wide receiver does.
Exactly. I mean, he had fucking 1,400 receiving yards. He's a receiver.
Right, but he wanted to be the highest paid receiver.
That's like going back to Le'Veon Bell.
He's taking more hits than any other receiver because he has all the rushing on him as well. Is why he brought that up. How do you guys feel about these contracts? Me personally, thought they were spot on.
I think they're fair.
When you compare them to the other guys that got paid, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, I think all 4 of them, like, you do a start bench cut with those 4, and I bet all 4 of us have different answers. Like, you know,
you're definitely different answers, but
those 4 guys, they're all in their contract year, all drafted the same year, same type of production. So I have all that list, but we got a lot of news to get into. So I ain't gonna bore y'all with numbers and statistics. Y'all can go ahead and dig that up. But I thought it was fair contracts on both of them.
Yeah,
I had nothing negative.
Yeah, I felt the same way. And to touch bases on that Debo Samuel situation, I read a insider report that he just talked to the press. Was it yesterday, today, maybe? But he said that he once felt like that, but it wasn't exactly true. That he didn't want to be used. That he didn't want to be used running the ball. He said that wasn't entirely true. So it goes back to like our theories, I guess. Like he just wants to be well compensated if he's going to run the ball.
Yep.
You know, he likes being called a wide back. He says he wants to do anything to help the team win. He's very excited to start the new era with Trey Lance. You know, I think a lot of the team is, you know, so that's going to be a whole new looking team this year. I think they're going to be exciting. It's going to be on point. I think it was a fair contract. I'm glad they got a deal done. He said, and I quote, at the end of the day, it's a business. You know what I mean? So, you know, who knows what made him unhappy? Because remember, he had requested a trade. Yeah. You know, when
he unfollowed him and did a whole bunch of shit.
So, you know, but I think it was fair. DK Metcalf, I think that contract's fair too. He's a beast. He's gonna get his. But I mean, can y'all tell me, please, like who's gonna throw him the ball this year? Who's Seattle's quarterback?
Drew Lock. But I mean, that ain't saying Drew Lock.
Denver. I'll tell you who might be throwing him the ball next year. CJ Stroud or fucking
they're gonna
get Stroud or Young. Yeah, and that's gonna be because Seattle's always tough, man. But you know, you pay Jamal Adams the safety, and you pay DK Metcalf, and then who else you gonna pay now, man? They don't really have too much over there, man.
Seattle fucked up.
Chris Carson retired.
Yeah, Chris Carson retired.
The world for Jamal Adams. They gave up everything.
They did, and
everything for that man.
And that's why I brought him up, bro. Because when you pay a player, I mean, he's a top safety in the league. Don't get me wrong.
It's not even they just paid him, bro. They paid to get him. They gave up 2 firsts.
Yeah,
like
that's a lot.
They gave up more than the Dolphins did for tampering.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
Yeah. Oh, if it's gonna pan out for him, I mean, I don't think it is because they don't have no quarterback. So any teams that don't have a quarterback,
they're in trouble.
I'm not sold on Drew Lock.
I think they lock in DK for that reason though. Next season, if they can't get, or if they don't even want to wait to get a CJ Stroud or a Bryson Young, they can go in. Hey, look, we've got DK Metcalf locked for the next 2 seasons. Come be elite with us. Like you have a top 10 receiver talent here. Let him be that. Look what he did. Not this past season, Russell wasn't hurt, but the year before, 1,400 yards and like what, 13, 14 touchdowns. Like dude's a beast. Give him somebody who can throw him the ball. He'll make you look great.
He is a beast. But can everybody, I want to make the service announcement on your show, please. Can we stop comparing him to Megatron Calvin Johnson? He's not that. He will never be that.
He will never be that. You can't
hang that
compare
shit
him.
up.
You're gonna pick
Yeah, I
him and
never.
Omega. Like
That's
it's
never
not
even been a thought in my mind.
yeah.
It's
I don't
not.
know.
I mean, I've heard that shit.
That
'Cause
might
you
just be
know-
a Detroit thing for
Yeah,
y'all.
it's gotta be.
Y'all say anything.
Nah, bro, because we touched bases on that earlier. We said that they always like to get these young players and throw
Oh,
these
Oh
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
The only, I think the only person you can compare even slightly is fucking Julio Jones back when he was in Atlanta to Calvin. But yeah, I don't see DK at all.
Julio never had the tutties.
I don't think nobody compared to Calvin, but that's the Detroit. I mean, like you said, we'll
Yeah,
say
nah, I mean,
Calvin was the best, man.
That man was a
He burned
different.
in.
He was a different beast.
What you think, Trent?
About what the contracts?
Yeah, about DK. You think that DK is good?
Oh yeah, I love DK's game. I mean, just looking at him, he's a freak. But with Locke as his quarterback, I mean, he's still going to put up the numbers he's going to put up, but it's not going to be anything crazy, and it's not going to lead to W's. So until they get like a better quarterback in there, I mean, it is what it is. But as far as the contract, I think it was spot on. Like where him and Debo rank, like in the receiver rankings, I feel like the pay it like made sense.
Yep.
It matched
top
up.
10, but not top 5. I like it.
Yeah.
The one thing about I want to say Debo was like 54 to 58. I remember which number it was. Guaranteed.
I think I saw 58, I believe.
Yeah, it was a shit ton of it was guaranteed. You laughed when I said we'd all have different start bench cuts. List those four receivers for me: DK, AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, and Terry, because they all just got paid. Same draft class. Just go
Terry's
ahead
off the list for me.
So Terry's 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm putting DK first.
I already know
Debo.
your list.
I'm going with Debo just because he can do both, and then I'm going AJ Brown.
Yeah, same.
That's my list. Jordan, what you got?
I would probably do the same thing.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Debo's,
what I say. You were the
I would
only
say-
one that was gonna have something different, Donovan. I literally know.
Bro,
That's
yeah, I
crazy.
would DK, Debo, yep.
I'm putting Debo
And
1.
then I would put AJ Brown.
Terry 2, AJ Brown 3, DK 4.
I think you may only put Debo. You may only put Debo 1 because of that scheme, that offense. But does he do that any or?
I had to drop the headset.
Right,
on
and
me
you may
first.
only put Terry 4th because he's had 8 quarterbacks and not one of them has been good as any of the other quarterbacks.
I watched him play for 4 years at Ohio State. I watched
And
him
that's
play
why
for
he's 4th. I was just going there. Thank you for bringing that up. Nah, but for real though, I like the other guys better, man. Terry McLaurin's a hell of a receiver though. I'm glad he got paid though. For real, he deserves it, man.
He does deserve it.
I mean, he's been busting his ass with multiple quarterbacks and not a whole lot to work with. You know what I'm saying? So
same with DK is going to have to do this year.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but you saw DK's numbers last year drop. They had 1,000 yards last year, and he still had Russell Wilson for 12 games. I'm not trying to hear it. Anyway, I touched on it for a second. Dolphins were stripped of 2 picks. First round this year coming up, 3rd round in 2024 for tampering with players and coaches since 2019. They tampered with Tom Brady when he was in New England, tampered with him again last year when he was with Tampa, and tampered with Sean Payton before he stepped away. How do you guys feel about this?
I don't know why it didn't happen soon. Like, I heard about this months ago, but apparently, like Tom Brady wanted.
They were doing it was under
investigation. How long did the
time.
investigations take?
I mean, look at the Deshaun Watson investigation.
But you just said since 2019.
No, it just came out. Brian Flores just dropped. This was all part of the Brian Flores deal because they got investigated for tanking too, and it came out that Stephen Ross, the owner of the Dolphins, told him to tank. Said high draft picks are more valuable than wins to me right now. That doesn't say tank. What does? Brian Flores chose not to tank and was still winning games, so there was no penalty for that because they didn't do it. But Stephen Ross was fined $1.5 million and suspended till mid-October. And
what does it mean for an owner to be suspended?
He just can't come to the games.
He can't be at the games or the.
Yeah, that's corny. But he still owns the team.
I own this.
Yeah, even though you own this shit. Yeah.
But I just wanted to see because when you guys think of tampering, like a lot of it's normally you talk to a guy too soon before he goes into free agency. That's what most of it's been. But when you look at the Dolphins, I mean, shit, Tom Brady retired and Sean Payton stepped down. So it looked like they worked. These guys are both done, stepped away from the organizations, and both could have potentially went to Miami. Because fuck, Tom Brady's about to become a fucking partner. He's about to be a part owner of that motherfucker. So it looks like what they were trying to do almost worked until Brian Flores blew it all up. So do you guys think this is enough of a punishment in aspects of the tampering situation? Do you think it's too much?
I don't. I think it's appropriate, I guess. I mean, let's be for real, man. Every team does this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you consult with somebody on a Wednesday and you're supposed to consult with them no sooner than Friday, everybody does this shit, man. It's just about who gets caught, what news breaks out. Like you said, if Brian Flores wouldn't have blew that shit up, that would have never seen the light of day. Most
under the rug.
But as far as them being asked to tank by Mr. Ross himself, I think that's true, man. I really do, because I think teams be doing that shit, man. I mean,
he came out and said it. Like, that was in the investigation. He came out and said it, but it was in a joke. Bro. It was in a joking manner.
Yeah,
like that's the context. It was in a joking manner is why he wasn't, and the fact that they didn't tank is the only reason he wasn't punished.
Well, he said this. That itself is conduct detrimental to the team. Why the fuck isn't he gone for 6 games? So I guess maybe he should have got more. I don't know, but I don't know. Everybody does it, so it's like I don't think too much of it or whatever. I actually like the dude, the owner of the Dolphins. He's a Michigan alum. He donates millions of dollars to the University of Michigan every year. So it's sad to see when all that news broke out with Brian Flores, because I didn't think he should have been fired, man. I thought he was tough. I thought he was hard nosed.
It didn't make sense. Like he brought him back from 1-7. They were the hottest fucking team in football.
They swept the Patriots the last year. Like, bro, you gonna fire a coach as the head coach of the Dolphins who just swept New England and Bill Belichick? But you gonna fire this man?
Came out to light. We all know why. And you know how owners get once they say blackball, he's blackballed. That's why he didn't get a head coaching job. I stand on it. Shout out Mike Tomlin. The only thing the Pittsburgh Steelers ever done is worth a damn.
Hey, I think Byron Leftwich is next. So
yeah, he tried to get a couple. He turned down.
Jacksonville, wasn't it? I thought he had an interview for the Jaguars head coach.
I saw that. It was the Jaguars.
Was it? I thought he interviewed with Miami.
Nah, he interviewed with. I know Jacksonville was one of them.
Or maybe I'm thinking
but Jacksonville might have been an OC, not a head coach.
Okay, I knew he had an interview. I wasn't sure that, but I just speculated. I just thought it was head coach because that was speculation.
Yeah. So last 2 topics, you touched on it. Kyle Shanahan said he's moving off of Jimmy G and Trey Lance is now the starter. It's been the talk. I think we all kind of expected this. Don't sit on it too long. Really want to hear Johnny's take on this because I know he's been preaching to why not just let him sit. So does it make sense to you yet? Have you made it make sense?
I still can't. I mean, you guys just made it to the fucking NFC championship game with a guy who's a proven winner. Why not just let him fucking learn from the guy in front of him? But
I've talked too much on this. What do you think? What do you think, Jordan?
I mean, it's my lock too. He's not going to throw for more than 21 touchdowns.
Hell, but my lock is whatever. If you could pick league winners for interceptions, like who's going to lead the league in interceptions? Trey Lance, put it down.
I mean, it's going to be exciting seeing. I mean, him and Debo together,
yeah, it's going to be real excitement. And then Trey Sermon coming back healthy. Hopefully, he can bounce back from getting knocked. Well, his first carry last year, he got the shit knocked out of him, fumbled the ball. He was done for pretty much the whole season.
Do you think he comes in as one, or do you think he has to beat out Elijah Mitchell? Because Elijah Mitchell had a hell of a year last year.
I don't know, dude, because they were both, and Elijah Mitchell was fighting injuries being dope too. You know what I mean? So they was both, but Trey Sermon, missed the season. But I think it'll be a good 1-2 punch for him. You know, then they got Debo out there. You know, they still got Brandon Ayuk, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yep, they still have Ayuk.
Yep. So I mean, they got some weapons. They're gonna be all right. It's gonna take some time for him to, but
obviously
it is hard to move on from that though, Johnny. You're right. I mean, you just made it so far with Garoppolo. I mean, people can say what they want about Garoppolo. The man does win games. You know what I'm saying? He wins games. He's good enough to get you to a point where you can have a chance to maybe win something, that's meaningful. You know what I mean? And that's so I don't know, man. But when you trade up, they traded up to get Trey Lance, though, right? Didn't they give up a shitload for him?
We all knew this was coming.
Right.
But no one expected them. No one expected them to go to the NFC Championship last year. Exactly. That's why it's throwing everybody off. No one was expecting that out of them last year. Last thing, Johnny, your former wide receiver 1 was arrested this morning, charged with criminal speeding, going over 100 miles an hour at 7:00 in the morning. I'm assuming he was on his way to practice. Just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah, I don't care.
One of your guys is
he's the cousin of Pittsburgh guy.
One of your
Antonio
guys
Brown,
is going into jail, and Lamar looks like he just left, man. Put on just bulked the hell up for the season. Are you okay with him getting that big? I mean, he's obviously gonna be slower now, right? Just put on 25 pounds.
But he obviously knows what he's doing too, though.
It's gonna slow you down. You'll be able to take more hits, obviously, but I don't care who you are. You put on 25 pounds in an off season, you're not gonna move the same at 230 as you did 205.
You could. It could be good muscle.
Good muscle.
Even if it
make that man faster.
Yeah, I think even if it's slowed Lamar down, I still think Lamar would still smoke about 90% of the rest of the NFL, even if it slowed him down a little bit. Like Lamar is that quick and explosiveness, man. He's straight, flat out.
Yeah, it's not gonna affect his game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just seen a lot of shit about it
in a negative way.
Yeah, I think it's still Lamar, so I'm not tripping on it. Like I said, that's still my lock for MVP this year. Go ahead and put it in. A lot of news happening in the NFL. Part of that is game days tomorrow, Hall of Fame games tomorrow. Before we touch into that though, NFC North, reading Jordan's on here. His Lions are hopefully not as bad as they've been in the past year. They're going against Vikings, Packers, and Bears. How do you see that division panning out this season, Jordan?
Y'all gonna think I'm crazy.
I just might, depend on what some dumb shit you come out with.
Yeah, you might think I'm crazy. So y'all want to start off with the predictions, like who I think is gonna finish where? Is that how y'all want to do it?
Yeah. Start with your worst.
Go
worst
record.
to best.
Yeah.
Worst to best.
I see one of the questions y'all had is Green Bay still the favorites. So yeah, they're gonna win the division. They win the NFC North every year.
So?
Like they do the same shit every year. They've won 1 Super Bowl since 2010, and they've won 7 playoff games total since then. They're gonna win. They're gonna win the NFC North.
See, I think this is the most open it's been since then.
You think so?
I really do. The Vikings, they're getting slept on. I think the fucking Lions are being slept on.
The Vikings, I got them winning 7 games this year. The Bears, I got winning 7 games this year. They both have first-year head coaches, bro. That shit's not going to happen overnight. I don't care how good of a team it's looking like. The only reason that Minnesota, Kevin O'Connell is the coach's name. He used to coach Kirk Cousins at Washington. You know, he had ties with him there. He got brought in strongly because of his ties with Kirk Cousins. And Kirk Cousins just signed a 1-year extension with Minnesota. So I wonder if he's even going to,
it was 1 year added. 1 year added to his contract.
To this extension, okay.
Yeah, it's just 1 year added. So he's got 3 more years instead of 2 years left.
Okay. So I thought it was just 1 year total. Okay, so that makes more sense then.
Yeah.
Because he's familiar with that coach. You know, that dude, he was an offensive coordinator.
Yep, they brought in
for the Rams, Redskins, QB's coach. I mean, he seems to know the game. We'll see. We really don't know. That's the new trend in football now. You hire all these, young coordinators to the head coaching positions, and then you got to wait and see how it pans out. That's the game now. We get it, we know, but we don't know until it happens. You know what I'm saying? So I just think they're going to be good. They got the best receiver in the NFC North now that Devontae Adams is gone and Justin Jefferson. He's a savage. Dalvin Cook is a savage. You know what I'm saying? They got weapons over there. Minnesota's nice, and they're really high on their rookies or whatever. 2 of their defensive rookies are slated to start. I was reading on here, man. Like they're really, really looking good in practice, man. It's crazy, but I don't know. I think it's going to take them time to figure it out. I think they win 7 games this year. I think Chicago wins 7 games this year. Minnesota and Chicago, I got them both going 7-10. I could see the Lions doing about 7-10. I like to say 8-9 though, because if you look at their schedule, it's favorable.
Yeah, your schedule is very favorable.
It's very favorable, and that's the only reason why. And I got Green Bay going 12-5, winning the NFC North, and then losing and choking in the playoffs like they normally do. Because you can always count on Aaron Rodgers to give you MVP caliber season. He's going to fall off a little bit this year, I feel like, with no Devontae Adams, but his rookie receiver's looking good. That one they just drafted from North Dakota State, that Christian Watson. Yeah, he was like the hottest thing to come out of North Dakota State since Wentz. But I don't know.
North Dakota.
but he's looking solid. But he hurt his knee or whatever, and then he just had knee surgery. So he hurt his knee in training camp. So they got another 4th-round pick receiver from Nevada. They're high on him. So I heard he's bonding good with Aaron Rodgers. So I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to thread the ball to anybody. And I just seen Alan Lazard wants to be the best receiver in the league. So I'm really got to see how this pans out. So
He could do it.
But Aaron Rodgers will make them look good. They'll do good, and they'll choke in the playoffs.
For the playoffs.
Like do. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to make sure I got this predictions right. Bears, Vikings 7-10.
Correct.
Lions 7-10 or 8-9.
Correct.
Packers 12-5.
Correct.
Yeah, mine looks a lot different
The
than
only
that.
one you hit on was the 7-10 Lions. It's the only one that
I'm there.
And Green Bay's the only one I got making the playoffs in that division. The rest of them will miss the playoffs.
It's your division, so I'm trying to process what you're saying.
Hold on, before you go there, let me hear your ceiling and your bottom. So you said 8-9, but what's the highest you see you guys doing and the lowest wins wise?
8-9 is the highest.
Yeah, that's the best.
That's the highest.
I'm not completely crazy. I've been a Lions fan for over 30 years. I know how this works.
Right.
And to be fair, this team's getting better, but if their schedule wasn't as cut and dry as it is, like they're a good team. They're not an 8-win team, but they don't fucking play anybody this year. So
yeah, I mean
they could do it.
They got a favorable schedule, man. Like I said, so I mean they could. There's no reason they couldn't win 7-8 games, man.
I got
them at 7.
Yeah, to me, I would be happy with that, bro. The success don't come overnight, and I'm gonna tell you,
I love your head coach,
dude. He's gonna bite the fucking kneecaps off of everybody, and he's restoring the roar in Detroit. But the things they got to do to try to be 8-9 or above 500, but they can't really be 500 no more with the 17 games. But I had a couple keys to it. They got to stay healthy. They got to stay disciplined. They got to run the ball effectively because that's what they want to do over there. And they're projected to have one of the best offensive lines.
Swift.
Offensive line. So Swift is a monster.
I saw it was number 5 ranked offensive line.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't go that far. That's a little crazy, but whatever. They're good enough, you know. And the thing with Jared Goff is he can win you some games if he has time to throw the ball. You know, and if you primarily run and then do the play action, you know what I mean? I think they could win some games like that, but they got to run the ball effectively, man. And then the last thing for them to do that is they got to play all 4 quarters, man. They got to finish games. They got to trust the process, and because that overnight success shit doesn't happen like that. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna take time, man. You got to stay patient. All these Lions fans are delusional, and dude, it makes me sick to my stomach when these Lions fans talking about, oh, we're going to Super Bowl. Like, dude. What the fuck you talking about? We ain't
I love it, but I can tell you're a fucking Detroit fan. Buddy said it takes time.
I'm a realist.
All you've had is time, and y'all still ain't shit.
They're getting better.
They are getting better, and I think the only way you guys are 500 is if we fast forward to 2024. I think this year, develop chemistry, build around it, get what you can done. Get better next year. Everyone's a year deeper into the league. You know what I mean? DeAndre Swift's only getting better. Y'all just drafted Jameson Williams. Did you see Antoine Randall L storm the draft room after you guys drafted him? Seen that shit this morning.
I did not see
that.
Bro,
no. So after they asked him he was at the podium at training camp, and they asked him, what were your did you think there was any shot you guys get Jameson Williams? He's like, no, absolutely not. He was like, yeah, like we thought so because the video leaked to you after you drafted him. He walked in there and he's hugging everybody. So excited. He loved Jameson Williams. You can't be happier. You guys got him. That's your obviously your receivers coach.
My receivers coach, yep.
So Trent, I know you're probably a Randall L fan, but
yes, sir.
Yeah, so you guys got him. I mean, Amon-Ra St. Brown, dope.
They got so many weapons on offense, dude. Yeah. Hawkinson, underrated tight end in the league. They got receivers coming up.
Like I said, your offensive line's there. You're building defensively. So I think you can't do it this year, but you guys get better. You build that. I think 7 wins this year is a huge step. You get confident.
Yeah, where'd you have them, Donna?
I had them 7-10 actually. I had them third in the division.
Yeah. So we were all on point.
Yeah, that's
I got the Vikings at 10.
Yeah, bro. I don't understand.
No, I meant with the Lions.
Oh, yeah. With the Lines. So I got mine goes Bears bottom 3-14. I think they're absolutely.
Damn, you got
Hold
him
on.
at 3?
Yeah, 3. And I don't know. The Bears are traditionally good. I don't see how they can be. I truly do not. I mean, one of the other topics I put in there are the Bears ruining Justin Fields because to me he's never gonna get a fair shot.
Yeah,
Because
or
he's gonna look terrible. Yeah, I mean, bro, I don't want to. They have the
right.
worst.
We ain't got enough time for that. We
They
know.
have the worst receiving room in the NFL, and
Yes.
it's not close. Yeah, not close.
Who's their number 1? Darnell Mooney?
Darnell Mooney's their number 1.
That's crazy, man.
Darnell Mooney is their number 1.
And
Mind
if you look back,
he had a good season last year as the number 2 with Allen
yeah,
Robinson.
no disrespect to
Key locked in
Mooney,
box.
but he shouldn't have to be asked to be the number 1 receiver.
Now,
That's
your division, I'm asking you a question. Who's their number 2 receiver?
Who, the Bears?
Yeah, who's the number 2?
Dude that used to work at Walmart.
Pretty much, bro. Pretty much.
You know,
It's
I couldn't tell you
I literally just I couldn't tell you. Then I literally just
because they got what do you call it? Robinson he's in LA now, right?
Allen Robinson left. Yeah, he's in LA. Yep.
Yeah.
So I got the Bears, and like I said, it's not Justin Fields' fault, but it's gonna get put on him because he's the quarterback. And I think they go 3-4.
Always does.
I don't understand. It's a favorable. They can win more games. I don't see a shot in hell than winning 7. It is an easy schedule for you guys this year,
chance.
but there's no shot. I don't see it a shot in hell. Have the Packers at 11-6, and I have the Vikings at 12-5.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Vikings. I've been high on them since we started talking the NFL. I think the Vikings are just getting Zimmerman out of the way to be good, and he's gone. And you touched on it. They brought in Kevin O'Connell for one reason.
Wait a minute. So you got the Vikings at 12 and the Packers at 11?
Yeah, Vikings win that division this year.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yeah. Like I said, it's your division.
Yeah, I was flopping back and forth with it.
He made the playoffs the last 2 years.
That division
and the reason they brought in Kevin O'Connell, go look at the season where he had Cousins when he was the OC over Cousins. Go look at that season. Look at Carson Wentz did.
Well, nobody would know that better than you in Washington.
4,800 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 interceptions.
And what to show for it though?
But okay, hold on. But that was without a Justin Jefferson or a Dalvin Cook or a top 3 red zone receiver in Adam Thielen. Like they have everything around him. They literally have the second best receiver in the NFL, and he did that. When he did that, his number 1 receiver was Pierre Garçon, and his number 2 was Jamison Crowder.
Mm-hmm.
So second best receiver in the NFL, Trent. You tried to
Bucks, but not that.
Bucks.
Mind you, the Lions their first win of the season was versus the Vikings.
They are the best receiving core. Justin Jefferson's the second best receiver in the NFL.
I thought you were talking about receiving core.
But yeah, so for me, you could do it different. I think it's going to come down between how those games go between the Packers and the Vikings. That's what's going to decide who wins that division. But I'm big on the Vikings this year. I don't know why, but I'm big on them this year.
Well,
I feel like I'm on the same page with you for once, Donna.
You got mine out? What'd you think about how's yours go?
You got the Vikings winning it.
So, I got the Vikings winning it, but I'll start with the Lions. I had them. I think we were all on the same page, obviously 7-10. I think we all agree the potential. We see it on this roster. I'm still a believer in Goff. He wasn't a number 1 pick for no reason. I feel like he gets a lot of hate, but he has more weapons this year. Swift has that breakout player ability at running back. Them signing DJ Chark was huge.
Very slept on signing.
For sure. And then having St. Brown and, like you said, TJ Hawkinson, I feel like a lot of people are sleeping on this offense. They're not there, but they're in the right direction. So I had them at 7-10, which you guys haven't had a winning season in 5 years. So I don't see this season being the turning point. I think you guys are like 2 years away, but we'll see. Then to the Packers, I had them at 10-7, not sold on them. They make it to the playoffs, then we see what happens with them, and then them losing Devontae Adams. I think we all don't see them being the same team, but still being good with Aaron Rodgers. So that's why I had them at 10-7, and then I have the Vikings winning at 11-6. To me, it just comes down to the play of Kirk Cousins. With that offense, it's going to be hard not to put up numbers. So I think if he just keeps his turnovers down, I think
last year.
For sure. Yeah. I think they'll have a pretty good season, and stay healthy. And then the Bears, I have them at 4-13.
Y'all tripping up.
You think so you think the Bears are a good team?
I don't think they're a good team, but 3-4 wins, bro. They ain't, I don't think they're that
I mean,
bad.
just looking at their schedule, I just couldn't.
5 team, bro.
You could be a terrible team and win 6 games, bro. I mean,
they're a bottom 5 team.
I mean, you might be right, and I wouldn't disagree with that. But I'm just saying, like, you could be
which I don't want it to be like that because I like Fields. I'm big on Fields.
I do too, bro. Even though he went to Ohio State, but
I
dude,
put
he just
them
don't have much help
at
all.
3-14 for 2 reasons. One, there's gonna be a team that just drops games they should win more than they should. Last year, you guys were as bad as you were record-wise, but Johnny can tell you, you were the longest field goal away in NFL history from beating the Ravens.
Don't remind
you know what I mean?
me.
Like,
Yeah.
there's just there
are
are just teams that lose because of things like that. And to me, that's the Bears this season. Now there is a shot that those games that I'm counting as losses, like I said, it's not a terrible schedule. So I have them at 3-14, but I would not be surprised if they win 5-6 games. Like, to me, that's not a shot.
Yeah,
I just needed it to be, because like I said with the Lions, I don't think if they go less than 7 wins, to me it's kind of disappointing because I have faith in their roster. If the Bears don't win, if they win more than 3, that does not shock me one bit because they can do it. I just think this is the year like you guys had last year where you drop games where you should have won. You outplayed the team, but at the end, when it matters, who the fuck is Justin Fields getting the ball to on a 2-minute drill?
Hey.
You see what I'm saying? Like,
right, I feel you on that. So you're ceiling for the Bears and it's like 5.
Yeah. I think the Bears could do 6. I think the Bears could do 6. I went with their floor because I think they just have that season this year.
I got you, Johnny. What you think? What you got the Bears and?
Bears at 6-11.
6-11. So you got them winning 6.
Yeah. I don't see them being they're not that bad to where they're only winning 3 games. But Green Bay, I have them winning I said it a couple podcasts ago, but I think I took the Vikings then. I'm reverting that decision. I'm going Packers 11-6.
I talked you out of it, didn't I?
Nah, hearing Donovan and Trent switch, that's what's making me switch.
I ain't switched shit. I've been on the Vikings.
I'm pretty sure you were on Green Bay whenever I said Vikings a while ago, but anyway. Green Bay 11-6. Vikings.
So Donovan, who's gonna have the worst record this year? Because I listened to a show a couple of shows ago,
Falcons.
And you had me going with the Giants, bro. You had me going.
The Giants are dogs.
Giants or the Bears? Who's gonna be worse this year, record wise?
Probably the Giants.
Really?
I think y'all and the Giants are floating that. I don't think either one of you realistically wins 5 games. Okay. But I have y'all at 3-14. I have the Giants at 4-13.
What do you mean, y'all? He's a fucking Detroit fan.
Yeah.
Y'all's division. Yeah. I had the Bears at 3-14, the Giants at 4-13. But I mean, shit, that's 1 game. And I think they play each other.
The Bears and the Giants.
I think they do too. I think we play y'all's whole division. I think we play y'all's whole division.
Yeah.
I think we got the NFC North. So I mean, you gotta think. I mean, that's an automatic L for y'all. So there goes your 8 wins down to 7. So.
Yeah, you'll have to have me back on the show after week 2.
After week 2, Detroit game. I have you on it before and after.
That's cool with me. You better hope the Lions don't win. You ain't gonna hear the end of that shit.
I'll be sick that week.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
All right, Johnny. So you had the Packers at 11-6 winning the division.
Yes.
Okay.
Vikings is right behind them at 10.
Is that enough to get them in the playoffs? Or do they miss it for 3 straight years?
That's something I'm gonna have to take a look at. Like,
okay,
what is the NFC actually looking like? Yeah,
it's looking like a Bucs season. That's what it's looking like.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Can't sleep on the Bucs, and dude, people, you can't sleep on the Rams, dude. Where the disrespect, dude. The Rams, it's like they didn't even win shit. These mom talking like this, that, putting them in the favorite. That, like, dude, the Rams are getting no love for that win, bro. Like, and it's crazy because my dog Matthew Stafford finally won his ring.
He's been a dog. He just never got the respect. That man
he never got the respect, bro. And dude, even even Lions fans back when he played for us would hate on him. Like some Lions fans would hate on him. Like he's the problem.
He wasn't the problem. Yeah.
Blind. What is your deal, bro? Learn something about football. Like,
it's nuts.
Man, he never had a running back. Normally didn't have a line for shit. Every year he was there, but 2 or 3, the defense was fucking atrocious. Like, what are we talking about here, bro?
In both those years, you made the playoffs.
Right. But damn, dude, Stafford is, man, he's a beast. Top 10 quarterback all day, every day. Shit. I was glad to see him get his ring, though, man. I was happy.
That's something we got to take a look at, though.
Yeah, look hard and long.
Stafford's top 10.
I love him, but
he's top 10. That man's a Super Bowl champion. He's got the same amount of rings as Aaron Rodgers. Fuck out of here.
You got a point.
How many
got
MVP?
The same amount of rings.
What's
so
the
does Joe
MVP
Flacco.
difference? What is the MVP difference?
So does Joe Flacco.
What's more important, an MVP or a Super Bowl? What would you rather have?
When it comes to ranking quarterbacks, all accolades matter. So you're saying Joe Flacco's as good as Matt Stafford. Trent Dilfert's as good as Matt Stafford and Aaron Rodgers.
But what would mean more to you if you were a quarterback, though? A Super Bowl win or an MVP?
Any player in the world will tell you it's a Super Bowl.
Okay,
I'm not saying that's not the most important accolade, but all accolades.
And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying like Stafford's a better quarterback than Aaron Rodgers. I have eyes I can see. You know. Obviously, I've never been a fan of Aaron Rodgers because he fucking bends us over.
The point I'm trying to make is every year Aaron Rodgers doesn't win a Super Bowl. Whoever wins a Super Bowl, we got to say that quarterback's just as good, just because he got a ring or better.
That's not what I was saying.
That's not the case.
I was just making a comparison. They got the same amount of rings. Give the man some respect. That's all I'm saying. No. And if you look at the eye test, there's an obvious difference between Matthew Stafford and Trent fucking Dilfer.
There's an obvious difference. You know
in those rosters
too. Yeah, but Aaron Rodgers. Looking at the eye test, he's one of the best.
If you put Aaron Rodgers on the Rams, they win a Super Bowl.
Oh, no doubt.
Like no that roster, top to bottom, was
fucking.
And no one understands it because the cap is for 31 teams in the NFL. The Rams have found a way that the salary cap doesn't exist.
You ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. That's why I said it was Super Bowl or bust last year for them. If they wouldn't have won it was a bust season, dude.
Did you guys watch Jalen Ramsey on The Pivot? Did you guys watch that episode?
I watched a little bit of it. That's a good show, by the way.
I love that show.
Yeah, that's a good show. They do a really good job.
Oh my God, yeah. I fucking love that shit. All right, so we have 3 more things I want to touch on. Didn't bring it up with the news, but everybody here saw Julio go to the Bucks. He's now paired up with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage. You know what I mean? Tom Brady throwing him the ball. Is that receiving core now better than the Bengals?
Yep.
Easy.
Bearing he can stay on the field.
Bearing Julio?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he got to play.
When he's healthy, he's still very
for
good
sure.
at football.
Yeah, that wasn't a good fit in Tennessee, man. I couldn't understand that.
It wasn't a good fit for anybody in Tennessee last year. Ryan Tannehill just not that guy.
Bro, so does Tom Brady have a better season than last year with this group? No.
No.
He's not going to have to either. I mean,
he doesn't need to.
They can score whenever.
And as good as Julio is, you got to remember Chris Godwin's not going to be there week 1. And Julio's a little farther out of his prime than AB was. Look what AB did last year. Julio can have a good season.
I mean, AB's numbers weren't crazy though.
He's not giving you that production. What AB put up last year?
His numbers weren't crazy.
Like 750 and probably 7 touchdowns.
I could see Julio doing.
Jones will give you 500 yards this year. He's not going to be on a field like that, Trent.
If he is,
he's not going to be.
If he
might be.
He might be.
He might be.
They can that team they're built to where they can score whenever and he can go to whoever. They're not going to need to fucking
if Brady
force field.
When was the last time you saw Julio Jones on a field for 80% of the games?
Yeah.
How many years ago was that?
Probably when they lost the Super Bowl to Tom Brady.
Yeah, probably. That should hurt him more than just mentally.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't know. It just depends. I can't wait to see what it's going to look, what the mesh is going to look like with them, though. You know what I mean? I think they got a stacked receiving core. It wouldn't surprise me if Tom Brady surpassed what he did last year. When are we going to stop trying to bet against Tom Brady and say he can't do something? Tom Brady is a fucking legend, bro. The greatest of all time, period. I won't even talk Like if y'all started a debate right now about the greatest quarterback, and one of y'all said that
He's
somebody
one of the
better than
greatest
Tom Brady, it would be over.
Professional athletes.
I don't even want to talk about it. Like it's like every year they doubt him. Man, bet it's 10 Super Bowls, won 7, bro. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. The shit he does every year, and he just turned what 45, I think. What the other day?
I thought it was 93.
We got to stop betting against that man.
I never did. I promise you, I will never bet against Thomas.
Bro, what? I bet on Tom Brady when they played Seattle, and Seattle was on the 1-yard line. I said the Patriots will still win the game. Won $100. Fuck is you talking about? That shit is. I had no like.
Shout out Pete Carroll.
Never. Yeah, nah. Fuck that.
And
that's what you get trying to force a Super Bowl MVP into Russell Wilson. That's what he deserves. He said Russell Wilson needs a Super Bowl MVP. He's got to throw this touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll look at his.
Didn't want beast mode to get it.
Yeah.
That's what you get. Averaging how many yards per carry, and he couldn't stop him.
But Jesus. I'm right there with y'all. This Bucks receiving core, top to bottom, is just.
That might be the best linebacking core too. Think, but like Devin White.
Oh my God.
Devontae David, Shaquille Barrett.
Yes,
they're fucking loaded.
They're what you would call cheating. It's not fair. And this is what happens when you don't overpay. Guess who's not the highest paid quarterback in the NFL?
Thomas.
Yeah. And guess who has everybody he's ever wanted on his team? And what I will say about Julio, people thought Randy Moss wasn't going to do shit in New England either. And then we saw what that happened. So
record season.
Yeah, Julio could put up numbers like that.
Yeah. And
he has
that, bro. I don't think he's done.
Julio, no, I don't think Julio's done either. I just think he's out of his prime, and I don't think, like Johnny said, Tampa doesn't need him to put up 1,500 yards and 40 touchdowns. I think I think they'd rather have him come playoff time than have him win regular season games. So I think we're just not going to see the production. He's going to be valuable on the field, even if he doesn't catch the ball. You can't double Mike when he's on the field. You can't do it. So his value to that team is going to be more than just production. So yes,
no doubt.
You guys. So tomorrow, Hall of Fame game, Raiders, Jags. No Trevor Lawrence, no Travis Etienne, but we are allegedly going to see some Adams and Derek Carr.
Yeah, that's what I was most excited to see. It was how well they're going to gel together. And I know I'm not touching it too much because it's preseason, no Lawrence, but I'm going to sprinkle a little money on the under. I think you said when we spoke, you said it was like 29.5.
It was at 29.5.
Yeah, I got it at 30.5. So I figured football's back. I got to throw some money on it. I've been itching for that a little bit.
For the total, like the score to be under 30?
Yeah, 30. Past 2 years, it was under that. Past 2 years, it was under.
Past 2 years, it was under that. I would have smacked that until I read that the Adams and Derek Carr are going to play at least one possession. That's a touchdown. It's got to be a touchdown.
I'm going over.
You going with the over?
That's 15 apiece. It's hard not to. 29.5 right now. It's hard not to go over. I would like the under, and it's trending that way. If it was at 30.5 and now it's at 29.5, but for me, third string defenses just get torched, man. Preseason games are 45-7. Like, they're not. It's not fun to watch. They're blowouts every time. Someone's gonna get fucking smacked tomorrow. I don't care who plays. I'm just glad I get to turn on a fucking football game.
I know that's
waiting
right.
Too damn long to watch football.
It's the longest wait ever,
bruh.
It's the longest wait ever, bro. I don't too much dissect like too much preseason football like on random teams, but like when it's my team, I watch every snap, every preseason because I like watching the young cats, man.
Yeah, that's how I'm drafted.
I love watching the young bucks to see, like the Lions had a young buck last year, running back Craig Reynolds. I don't know if y'all heard of him, but he made the roster and he's coming back this year. Dude, he's a bull. This dude can play. Like undrafted.
Well, I know you're definitely going to be excited for the Hard Knocks then, since they're covering the Lions this year.
Oh man, I'm stoked. I felt like we should have been on it years ago because we've been trashed for so long. You know what I mean?
I think it's a good year for you guys. Like I said, this is your rebuild year. I think this is a good time to put it on. I'll be tuning in every week.
Oh, for sure. I'm right there with it.
That's just
next Tuesday, right?
Yeah, yes, next Tuesday, August 9th on HBO.
Here you go.
He's like, tune in 6 o'clock Eastern. Record it. Go ahead.
If y'all need the HBO Max account, it's down in the description. Go ahead and drop a like and sub while you at it.
Right.
Yeah, so let me ask you this. Every time we have a guest join us, we like to get a future lock prediction because we are betting guys on this pod. So go ahead and give us something that you like.
Well, I know that y'all like to do this and the lock bets and all that, and I just kind of stuck like within the NFC North with the lock bets. I was looking at DraftKings earlier and shit, and I can give y'all a college lock too, if that's all right.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny, the other week, so whatever you're comfortable with, man, whatever you like.
I'll start off with my lock bets for just the NFC North first. DraftKings has the Bears at 6.5 games over under. I think they win over. I think they win 7.
You like the over?
That's just me. I know you guys are hard. You guys are going harder on than I was, but I don't know. I think if I could see them winning 6, it wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if they won 5. But I think they could get 7.
They're gonna be in. I think they're gonna be in more games than they're not. I just think this is the year they lose them all, but they could win them, and that'll put them at 7. So
Yeah, I like it. What about college?
College,
you stuck to Detroit or to Michigan?
Michigan's winning the Big Ten again, bro.
Yeah. Ooh, look at Johnny over there. He like.
That's the lock. Else? We're going 12-0.
No, hell no.
That's not a lock.
Who's gonna beat us? Who's gonna beat us?
Ohio State they're mopping that fucking league this year.
Just like they mopped it last year.
Yeah, and you lost both your edge guys. The most important.
I don't give a shit who we lost.
That number 1 pick.
Let me tell you something. I witnessed that firsthand. I drove my ass 7.5 hours home, and it was the greatest fucking ride home of my life. They got mopped. We didn't just beat their ass. We beat the shit out of them finally.
And what's crazy is Aiden Hutchinson, whatever, has his 5 sacks. Still didn't put up numbers that Will Anderson did at Alabama, and for whatever reason, he's number 2 in the Heisman voting. Makes no sense to me.
You're gonna see why come his rookie year. That dude's a freak.
You're gonna see why Will Anderson should have been in the Heisman voting this year because
they say he's the clear cut number 1, right?
Because he was a freshman, a sophomore. So there was like, shit, he's gonna be back or whatever. But dude, you can't deny that his talent. Of course, he's an animal.
So my thing, Aiden Hutchinson's this guy, right?
Like he's
number 2 overall pick in the NFL, gonna have a great rookie year, probably the favorite to win rookie defensive player of the year. But you're saying losing him and David Ajabo, losing both of them, and you still think you're going 12-0, and you just lost. And Ajabo would have been a first-round pick had he not torn his Achilles.
Way too early. Top 10 draft picks has Ohio State with 3 guys on offense getting drafted in the top 10.
That's every year.
That's not every year.
That's every year.
Never see fucking 3
guys
every year from the same school get drafted in the top 10.
They pull out all these top players, and they choke, and then they come up with excuses, all the hoorah and the rah-rah and this, that.
And what's crazy is Michigan beats Ohio State once in the last 10 years, and all of a sudden they're winning the Big Ten now. So that's nuts to me.
Yeah, we're the Big Ten champions, and that's what we like to be referred to as. Thank you. I appreciate it.
We like to be referred to as. I like it.
I'm excited for that game. Then
don't remember who smacked that ass last year. It was brutal. It was
bring the 2 touchdown game. It wasn't that bad.
Bring the calendar up.
It wasn't like 3 years ago.
Game. It was a 2-score game. You better go back and check it, bro.
It's not like 3 years ago. Ohio State 60 on them, right? It wasn't like that, was it?
But I think we go 12-0 because we lost on defense, but the offense is so strong, dude. Like we got players coming out. Our third string players are balling, dude. And that's nothing Ohio State because Jamison Williams was a third string receiver at Ohio State and went to Bama and this. Their talent doesn't scare nobody no more, bro.
What's up? I say we go to that game, November 26th. What's up? You guys want to make it out to that?
Dude, I would love to, and I can't go this year because God bless, I'm having a son, and he's going to be born in December. So
congratulations.
Congrats, man. Congrats.
Y'all want to know what I'm naming my son?
Yeah.
Aiden.
Oh, you already told me. Aiden. Yeah.
Aiden.
That's dope, man.
Okay.
But I was going to touch on one more thing before I pass it off, but it wasn't just because of his stats at the Heisman finalist, man. It was the impact on the field. Aiden Hutchinson showed up when we needed him the most, dude. He had 3 sacks in the Ohio State game. He had 2 sacks in the Penn State game. No, he had 3 sacks versus Ohio State. He had 3 sacks that game. He had another sack or 2 in the Big Ten championship. He always showed up when we needed him, man.
I mean, that's one thing, but it's also another thing to be the best player in college football. defensively. That was Will Anderson. Yeah, Will Anderson was the best player.
Oh yeah, bro. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying Aiden Hutchinson was the best defensive player in college. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that's probably why they threw him, in there.
The Ohio State game is why he got propelled to where.
Oh, I agree. If he would have went in there and got no sacks, he wouldn't have been a finalist. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I agree with you. But that's my lock, man. Y'all can call me biased. I'm excited. I don't know.
So what I'm hearing is lock Bears at over 6.5, and then whatever Michigan's over under is the over. There's no way they're tallied at 12. You're saying just hammer the over on Michigan.
I'm saying they're going 12-0.
All right, so hammer that over.
So you heard it here first,
That's
baby.
Crazy. Don't bet.
I think Ohio State is 12. I'm pretty sure.
That's ridiculous. All right,
yeah, so I'm excited for that game now.
We're gonna end this episode on a fan question. Got dropped on the YouTube. It was, see you guys talking about the bets. Who should I follow this upcoming NFL season with the bets? Johnny,
who put that?
Trent, or me? Sports Guru commented it. So y'all got any fan questions? Make sure to leave them down in the YouTube.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Starting week 1, we're going to be keeping the records updated for y'all. So week 1, I'm gonna tell y'all I'm starting off hot. So trail your boy.
Here's what I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all this. Anytime Johnny or myself tails Trent, I lose money.
Right. Yes.
Every time I do that, I lose money.
Don't listen to these two.
What I will say,
the title of this is No Nonsense, and this man Trent has Pittsburgh making the playoffs or something astronomical like that.
Hey, who's gonna be their starter? Is it gonna be Pickett?
I just saw an inside report.
Mason Rudolph.
Yeah. 2 days ago.
Mason
Rudolph.
He's leading.
Yep.
Mason Rudolph is winning the training camp right now.
Yep. He's not starting week 1.
But I don't say he starts week 1 either. But he's outplaying Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett. So, mind you, he's been in that offense a lot longer, so he should look better. But yeah, he's winning in training camp. What I will say is this: for you guys who want to know out of the 3 of us which one to follow sports bets, every week during the NFL season we will drop a no nonsense parlay, and it'll be the 3 of
basketball.
Us
we hit them,
putting in our locks, and I tailed both of them during the NBA playoffs. The first one won me a couple hundred. Second one lost me a couple bones, but it is what it is. But just follow the 3 of us. We put our locks in because those are our definites. We all like to make our out there bets with big odds, but our locks are our locks. When we team up for that no nonsense parlay, that will smack more than it won't. So you want to know what to follow? Tail that bitch, and we'll win you some money.
I can vouch for that, man. I used to work with Trent and Johnny, and I remember the word around the shop was Johnny just won $5,000 on parlay. That shit was talked about. I didn't even know who he was. I'm like, man, I can't beat this motherfucker, man.
He said, Johnny, that's my best friend.
Yeah, that's how you know a motherfucker show up to work the next day. Yeah, that man wants some money.
I know Johney asked me hitting. And good call, Johnny. I meant to tell you, good call on the finals too, bro. I've been watching y'all podcast, man. Yeah. Good shit about the finals. You called that shit to a T. That was good. That was a good series though, man. I enjoyed playoff basketball this year.
For sure.
It was nuts how that shit played. I was literally in our fucking break room. I was just like.
But the thing about Johnny is he speaks it, he knows it, but he won't put his money on it.
He's scared of his own power, bro.
Well, whereas Trent speaks it, misses it, but he'll throw everything on it.
Well, if you anything like me, I feel like if I bet, I influence the fucking game. It's like, okay, I know this is going.
I'm not trying to hear that.
It ain't gonna happen.
I'm not trying to hear that, bro. I missed $700 on Jason Tatum to score 30. He had 28 going into the fourth quarter and didn't touch the.
You know what? You know why though? You know why?
He was getting the ass smacked.
No, you jinxed yourself. You was over here sending people like, "Oh, I'm about to win this. I'm about to do this." Then the man didn't go back.
Oh, that man was at 28 points going into the fourth quarter and didn't play.
Hey, did I ever tell you how I lost 800? It was 1,800, right? So I did a 16 NBA parlay. I think it was right.
16 or 6?
16. Sorry,
6.
Okay.
5 of them hit, right? It happened to be Miami versus fucking OKC. This was bubble year, I believe. So 5 hit, whatever. OKC is up 102 to 84, I think. I'm like, all right, bet it's late in the fourth. I'm about to go to Wendy's. I go to Wendy's, come back. It's 106, 104 Miami. I fucking lost $1,800.
You should have hedged. You didn't know nothing about hedging.
They were up 20 points.
Like that was a lot, bro. Right? I would have been like, that's money in the bank.
I'm at least
That's
throwing 50 on it. The
Son,
payout would have been something crazy.
If anything, I would have just stayed at home, kept watching the game, and I could have like cashed out something.
Bro, I wish I
Motherfucker,
could have
like,
just saw the look on your face.
I
Like
was
when you
fucking sick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's tough.
That's a heart dropper right there.
And that's probably why you're hesitant on putting that money on that shit now, man. You live and you learn from it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I miss by one so often.
Me too. One leg
That's
on
why
the parlay.
I stopped doing more. I don't do more than 3 legs. I stopped doing that
Right.
shit.
No, I
always-
get like NFL. I love to go crazy.
Bro, I'll
Yeah,
put
you gotta throw it in
$5.
there.
I'll put $5 every week on a full bracket.
Yeah,
Bro,
Just to see that
so
shit.
look at this. I went through the all week 1 games. There was like 16 games or something like that. And I just picked the over
Yes.
under for every game. Threw 10 on it. The payout was like $311,000.
Yeah, I bet it was.
Like, bro, like just let it happen though one time
That's
to
what I'm saying,
somebody.
like-
Like, it happens, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's crazy.
Let it be
but-
me.
Yeah.
So speaking on that though, week 1, y'all will be getting. We'll do our episode and we'll put our predictions up, and then every week after that, when we go over predictions, it'll be on the screen behind the player and their predictions on what their record is. I'm not gonna show the wins and losses.
Yeah, just
for each
keep up with your
game,
boy,
but
man.
it's gonna be there.
Don't
Whoever
don't
got
listen.
the best record. And
Yeah,
next week,
and we're
the last
making that
week-
bet.
the last week of the preseason, we're gonna go over what the winner of this gets and what the loser has to do on this.
Have we
The
talked
fans-
about this?
Yeah.
Yeah, we said I'm getting the jersey.
Yeah,
Y'all
Johnny,
getting me
you're
that
buying
jersey.
me a jersey. That's pretty
And
much how it
then
went.
we ain't talk about the loser though. We're gonna have to
Yeah,
come up
the
with that.
loser's buying the winner of the jersey.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the third place.
Yeah,
Okay,
third
that's
place
cool.
is buying the winner.
Yeah, I mean, if we got Washington winning double-digit games and you got fucking Pittsburgh doing anything, I'm winning. Period.
I just can't
I'm-
wait because none of
I'm
y'all have
completely
Washington
fine
doing
with it.
anything. So when Washington has a good season,
Well,
Washington's gonna lose. And they
Here's the
don't.
thing: Vegas doesn't have them doing anything. So, are you
Hey,
betting
the
against
house
Vegas?
always wins.
I always bet against Vegas.
All right.
Appreciate you coming on here, Jordan.
Absolutely, bro.
Definitely.
I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Yeah, if you want to come
Fun.
back on during the season, you're more than welcome.
Anytime, y'all. Anytime. I appreciate y'all having me on for real.
Appreciate you coming on.
Absolutely.
All right,
Johnny,
y'all.
we're gonna have to talk more about that Michigan Ohio State shit, man.
I'm going
Yeah,
up there. I'm going up
that's
to,
when you're coming back
That
on.
shit ain't
That's
over.
when you're coming back on.
I'm
That
going
shit
up
ain't
to the Penn State Ohio State game too. That's
I don't
just
know if I
gonna
can
be
listen
fucking
to that after
rocking.
that game.
Oh, it's
I don't know
gonna
if I
be
can do
lit.
that. I probably won't be on that episode.
Them games are live, dude. I go to so
Oh my
many Michigan
God.
games. We hit the Penn State Michigan game last year, Michigan Ohio State. I went to the Michigan Maryland game.
But Penn
State.
State,
I go to.
their stadium is just. I hate Penn State, but that stadium is going to be rocking, bro.
They love their fucking team, bro. They do. We are. We don't give a fuck about who y'all are. We just came over here to whip y'all ass.
On that note, go ahead, drop the fan questions on the YouTube. Tune in with us. Appreciate everyone listening.
Yeah,
Catch
much
y'all
love,
next
y'all.
week.